तो अब हम मिस्टर कपूर से जानना चाहेंगे इनोवेशंस के बारे में उनका क्या मत है.
Good evening. Very interesting. FSTP and fecal sludge management is actually a part of the waste. But the discussion so far, what people talk about is dry waste and wet waste. Similarly, I'll talk a little bit about a different topic. More or less, it's also a waste. When we see what is waste, the general definition of waste is anything which is unwanted lying on any surface is a waste, which is harmful or hazardous to the human health, or it is bad for the environment. Now, if we start segregating the waste, major components what people talk about is wet waste, dry waste, e-waste, biomedical waste, and so on. But when we minutely get into the waste, we also see there's a very, very big component of waste which is generally ignored, and which is dust. Dust, when it gets moistened, it's called dirt. Dust is so harmful that we all breathe every now and then. We are in a country which is full of dust. But nevertheless, when we talk about how do we deal with dust on the common areas or the roads or areas of public occupancy, then it comes to the mind the first person who's breathing dust every now and then is the sweeper, the man with the broom who has been doing it the last 100 years. And still we find, I was a child, I used to see a man brooming the road. Even now when I'm a man, I still see the man brooming the road. So what has changed? Nothing. Now, while doing so, we get into a lot of details in UP at the directorate level, and we decided to deal with it at least in public places. Includes Moradabad, includes Jhansi. We decided that 27 urban local bodies of UP, all 17 Nagar Nigams and Palika Parishads, where we would like to incorporate mechanized cleaning. Mechanized cleaning does not necessarily mean that it will be all the areas would be done by the machines. Some of these areas would be done by practices which are of modern cleaning techniques, could be some manual sweeping as well. But then we went and we segregated the cities into two parts. Half of the wards would be cleaned by modern techniques, and half of the wards which would be done by the conventional methods, by the permanent and contractual laborers or employees that the government already owns. Again, as somebody said, there was a protest in Jhansi for this. Similarly, there's a protest for everything which new comes in. And all the leading newspapers started talking about the why mechanized cleaning in Uttar Pradesh. Then we went a little more into detail and found out that why this protest is happening. What is going wrong with this? Is it unemployment or is it some other factor? Then we came to the statistics. In the year 2017-18, when we saw that the spending of the UP government for 652 local bodies only on salaries and wages was 2,375 crore on 1,17,000 employees, only Safai Karamchari. So the figure was big. The employee numbers was only 117 for the whole 652 ULBs. Then we went into a little deeper into it. We said how many of these 1,17,000 are permanent and how many of these are outsourced. So it was almost 50-50. So when this was very simple calculations that we could make, that for example, if we retain all the permanent contractual employees and give contracts to outside agencies, big companies who do these mechanized cleaning jobs and other things, there is no unemployment and we are actually saving money and not spending money. So dust or dirt, when we talk about 100 smart cities built up, we will not like to see the man with the broom. Of course, he needs elevation. His health is important. He undergoes 7 or 8 medical diseases. His lifespan is less than 7 to 8 years than us. Why can't he elevate it to an operator? And why can't he run the machines? So that is how this concept came into mind. And I think soon we will see some of these practices incorporated in UP. And I think that's all I would like to talk about.